The past week in AI moved fast, multiple major announcements across models, infrastructure, enterprise deployment, and government policy. And as usual, the stories that actually matter were not always the ones getting that most attention. In this video, I'm breaking down everything significant that happened, what it means, and why you should care. So, OpenAI shipped a memory update this week. The old system basically worked like a notepad. You did it something, it writes it down, but anything you did not explicitly flag, gone. And anything you did flag would just sit there forever, getting more stale and wrong over time. Not great. The new system, they call it dreaming. It's kind of a background process that watches your conversation and builds a model of you over time, automatically. No manual flagging, and it understands that time passes. So old information gets updated rather than just accumulating. The recall number went from roughly 41% to 83% over the 2 years. That is basically doubling for a memory system that is actually meaningful. The other interesting thing, they got the compute cost down by 5 times. That is why free users are getting it now. The capability was there before. It was just too expensive to solve at that scale. Honestly, I have suffered through this myself more times than I can count. You spend 20 minutes giving ChatGPT context about your project, your preference, what you're trying to do. And once you close the tab, open it the next day, start from the zero again, you are re-explaining the same thing over and over, like talking to someone with amnesia. That frustration is real, and I think most people watching this have felt it. OpenAI just made the most serious attempt I have seen at actually fixing it. Whether it fully works in practice, we will see that, but the direction is right and it is about time. Moving on to the next update. First, let me explain what WAPI is, because I feel like a lot of people are going to miss the context here. So you know how when you call a company and there is an automated voice that handles your query, traditionally that was terrible, robotic, frustrating. You immediately press 0 to get a human. That was the state of voice automation for like 2 decades. What WAPI does is basically rebuild the entire thing with modern AI. You want an AI that answers phone calls for your businesses, book appointments, handle support queries, qualify sales lead. WAPI is the infrastructure that makes that work. You do not have to figure out how to stream audio, handles interruption when someone talks over AI, manages phone system, deals with latency. WAPI handles all of that. You just focus on what you want the AI to actually say and do. And the numbers tell you this is not a small thing. 7.5 million developers building on it and 2.5 million agents launched. 1 billion call processed. One company moved their entire inbound call volume into WAPI in 2 weeks. Another is running over 1 million calls per month. They just raised $50 million. This is the production scale infrastructure. Now, here is where growth comes in. The biggest problem with voice AI has always been it sounds fake. You can always tell something about the rhythm, the emotion, the way it handles the process, that uncanny feeling. It makes people uncomfortable and they want to talk to a human instead. XAI ran a poll on X this week, and 4,500 people, they played 2 voices side by side. One was Grok's AI voice clone and one was an actual human. The split was 50-50. Half the people genuinely could not tell which one was the AI. That is a meaningful threshold to cross, and WAPI runs their own independent evaluation comparing every voice provider they could find. Grok came out number 1. So starting now, every voice agent built on WAPI, every phone calls it handles, every customer interaction, it is running on a voice that half of the humans cannot distinguish from a real person. That changes what these agents can actually do in real world. And what can you practically build with this? Like practically, you can make customer support that answers calls and actually resolves things instead of frustrating people. Outbound sales agent that calls leads that have real conversations, appointment booking that work over the phone without a human scheduling assistant, survey and marketing research at scale. Multilingual agent, the platform support, be it English, French, Italian, Spanish, and more. And if you are a content creator, you can clone your own voice and use it for narration, podcasts, ad without recording every single time. Voice is honestly the most natural interface for people, for the most people on the planet. More natural than typing, more natural than apps. The combination of WAPI's infrastructure and Grok's voice quality getting to the point where it sounds human. That is a genuinely significant moment for AI can actually do in the real world. Let's talk about the next big thing. This one is quite interesting, but I want to be upfront. This comes from an anonymous source at the Financial Times, not an official OpenAI announcement, so take it with that context. According to FT, OpenAI is building a revamped ChatGPT that is basically a super app. Coding tools, AI agents, a personal assistant, everything in one place, rolling out in the coming weeks apparently. And one senior OpenAI employee said something that caught my attention. He said, "Chat is dead. which are pretty remarkable thing for someone at company whose entire product is a chat interface to say. What they mean is the simple back and forth conversation box is not the end goal anymore. The end goal is a personal agent that helps you across everything: work, personal life, coding, research. Basically, one product, one place. The strategic reason behind this is also interesting. OpenAI wants to compete more directly with Anthropic's on enterprise customer, and they need to get closer to profitability before an IPO. The theory is if ChatGPT becomes the gateway that pulls free users towards paid products like Codex, the business model actually works. They also apparently shut down Sora and are killing other side projects to focus entirely on this, and they are calling it abandoning SideQuest. Worth watching when this actually ships, but until there is an official announcement, treat it as a signal, not a confirmed plan. Moving on to OpenAI's Codex. Codex started as a coding tool. That is not what it is anymore. OpenAI just shipped a big Codex update and buried in the announcement it is a number worth paying attention to. Non-developers, financial analysts, marketers, operators, and researchers now make up to 20% of Codex 5 million weekly user, and they are adopting it 3 times faster than engineers. 3 times faster. I think I'm one of them. That tells you where the growth is coming from. The new feature makes sense in that context. 6 role-specific plugins that connect 62 popular businesses app out of the box, and Salesforce, Snowflake, Figma, Boomerang, Feeds, and PitchBook. And investment banker can now build financial models and pitch books directly in Codex, pulling live market data. A marketer can generate ad variation from a text brief. A sales team can automate follow-up communication and account reviews. There's also a feature called Sites. You make a static spreadsheet or document and turn into a live web hosted interaction app without any front-end development. A financial model becomes a scenario planner your executives can actually interact with instead of clicking through tabs. So the strategic picture here is interesting. Microsoft announced Copilot for Enterprise that same week, and Anthropic has Cloud Cowork. Everyone is racing to become the default AI platform for non-technical business users, and OpenAI's bet is that Codex, which started as a developer tool, can cross that gap faster than anyone else.